In Monroe County in 2009 and 2010 had faced tremendous budget difficulties like the rest of the state. Our staff was cut by 25%. $400,000 essentially was taken off of our budget. We needed to change the way we did things. We need to operate more efficiently, and the JusticeTech prosecution solution was our solution. We picked the JusticeTech solution because it was designed by prosecutors and those involved in the criminal justice system, and it was easy to use, and it integrated all the other parts of the criminal justice system: law enforcement, the courts, probation, and prosecution. One of the biggest benefits of the JusticeTech prosecution solution is the paperless file. In the old days, with a paper file, a document would come in, it would be date stamped in, the file would be pulled, and then that file put on the employee's desk to take action on. With the paperless file, though, you have immediate access to that file. So if a victim calls or a defense attorney comes in to visit, you have immediate access, you can put that note in the file, and you don't have to take the time to locate that file. So it makes the communication in the office so much better with this solution. But probably the biggest benefit of the solution is the workflow that's incorporated into the JusticeTech prosecution solution. So essentially, when a document comes in now, it comes in automatically to the user or the employee that needs to work on that document. So you don't have to locate the file and put that paper document on the file and then give it to the user in the office to take action. It makes the whole process in the office so much more efficient and saves so much time. There are many features of this solution, and many of them benefit the prosecutor's office. For instance, you have the ability of law enforcement, instead of them actually physically coming to your office to drop off a warrant request, they can do it from their office, which may be miles away, by accessing LEAP, which is a law enforcement agency portal. It's a site in the cloud where they can sit at their desk, enter in a minimal amount of information, and submit a warrant request, supplemental reports, and evidence to us. Makes it so much more efficient than actually driving to the office. As far as a prosecutor, a number of features are beneficial. The electronic warrant process. There's an integration in the system with our state electronic warrant manual, so it makes it so much easier to charge cases. One of the other benefits of the prosecution solution would be the electronic subpoena process. In the old days, as you know, we had a subpoena process where we prepared a subpoena in paper. Law enforcement had to drive to our office to pick it up and then go out and serve that individual. The return sometimes would make it back to our file, sometimes it might not. But with this process, we prepared the subpoena electronically. It's sent out to the officer electronically, and he serves that subpoena. One of the big benefits is it automatically updates the status of that subpoena. So when we go to the court, when a prosecutor goes to court, he's able to tell the judge in just seconds whether those subpoenas in that particular case have been served or not. And that's a big benefit to know if your witnesses have actually been served for a case. The electronic discovery process is another feature that's a huge benefit in the JusticeTech prosecution solution. In the old days, we had a receptionist who would redact the police report using a black marker. And because you could see through the black marker, they'd have to then take it to the copier and make a copy of that discovery information. Prepare a cover letter, put it in an envelope, put postage on it, and mail it out. With the JusticeTech prosecution solution, the e-discovery process is so much more efficient, it saves time and money. The secretary is able to redact in the system itself, save that redaction, and simply click on that document and drag it to a task and release it. It automatically produces a cover letter, automatically sends that discovery to the defense attorney. So much more efficient, easier to use, and saves money. So that's a great feature as well. One of the features that I think our staff appreciates the most out of the JusticeTech prosecution solution would be the e-docketing feature. In the old days, a secretary would pull a docket, maybe 50 or 60 cases for a particular day in court. And that might take 2 or 3 hours, because those files could be anywhere in the office. They could be where they're supposed to be, or they could be with the victim witness unit. They could be with an assistant prosecutor. They could be on the chief assistant's desk. They could be with a subpoena secretary. But with this process, you can literally pull a 50 or 60 case docket within a minute. The system integrates with our court system, and you're able to pull all those files immediately. So 1 minute certainly is a time saver over 2 or 3 hours. When the Board of Commissioners set aside funding for this project, what they wanted to do is they wanted to check periodically to see what the return on the investment was. And we've done that. And I can tell you right now that even though we have 25% fewer staff members, our budget was cut by approximately $400,000, we're more efficient today than we were in the past. Why? Because of these features of the system. The e-warrant process, the e-docketing system, the e-discovery system, and the e-subpoena system. All these features allow us to be more efficient with less staff today than we were before. The JusticeTech prosecution solution has improved public safety in our area in a couple different ways. We had, as I mentioned before, a staff reduction of 25%. And with that staff reduction, it was difficult for us to efficiently process cases. We developed a backlog. Well, with this solution, that backlog is gone. So cases where individuals have committed crimes that may have been waiting for review now can be reviewed immediately because of the gained efficiency in the system. And it's system-wide. You gain efficiency in the warrant process. You gain efficiency with law enforcement, not having to travel to and from our office as many times, in serving subpoenas, and being able to update the court as to the status of the case. Public safety is also improved because all the notes are in the file. When someone called before, you might make a paper note. That might not always find itself to the file. But to me, the solution has improved public safety because it allows us to eliminate our backlog, and it improves communication not only within our office, but law enforcement in general. I serve on the board of the Prosecuting Attorneys Association in Michigan, and in that capacity I've had the opportunity to meet with and discuss with other elected prosecutors their budget problems. And one of the things that always comes up is how can they make their office more efficient with less staff. And I've told them what we've done in Monroe County by using the JusticeTech prosecution solution. It's really achieved the cost savings, it's made our office more efficient, and I've told them that I believe it can also work for their office.
The biggest benefits of the JusticeTech prosecution is the time savings that we incur from the point that we take an incident out in the field to getting the information to the prosecutor's office. So under a normal system, we would have to handwrite a report, and even if we generated the report through the computer system, we would still have to print that information out, and it would have to make its way physically from our location to the prosecutor's office through some mechanism, typically delivered by secretarial staff. And then we would have to wait for a reply from the prosecutor's office. Even if they were to author one, that would have to come back by paper over to the sheriff's office, and then we would have to disseminate that out into the field. Currently, our office covers 540 some odd square miles with 4 substations plus a main office. So for that paperwork to transit all the way from the prosecutor's office back to us and then back out into the field for the officer to get, it can have a significant time delay. So with the JusticeTech prosecution system, we can now push that data electronically from our office right out in the field in the car to the office, across the street to the prosecutor's office in a matter of minutes. There are 2 parts to the JusticeTech prosecution system that are important to us. One is getting the subpoenas electronically. And again, it has to do with the way that we are divided throughout the county. If we get an electronic prosecution or electronic subpoena from the prosecutor's office, we can then turn around and disseminate that right to the officer in the field. There's no need for us to take physical paperwork back and forth. And we can track exactly what the status of that subpoena request is in real time. The other thing that benefits us is the case statuses. That is critically important to us because case status hinges or directs what we're going to do with that case, whether or not it's still considered open, if we have to do any further follow-up on it. And it also has to deal with evidence disposal. We have evidence in our evidence room under the old system. We would have to hunt down what happened with that case after a certain amount of time. Now we get it back automated. It tells us what the status of the case is, and that allows us to expedite disposing evidence out of the evidence room. The tangible benefits have not been measured by our agency, and I think, in my opinion, they're outweighed by the intangible benefits, which is the ability to rapidly transmit information back and forth from the prosecutor's office to the sheriff's department. We're both law enforcement entities, and we're trying to perform similar functions. And before that, there was a division there where information was not flowing back and forth very well. And through the electronic system, we're able to rapidly get case management information back. We're able to submit information rapidly to the prosecutor's office. Many times that's important on a rapidly evolving case. If we have a serious event, a serious rape, a homicide, where we're trying to rapidly secure warrants for somebody, they have all the information, the attachments, the extra documents that go along with packaging a typical criminal case are immediately available on their system to review and to push back to us. We can get warrant documents back to us so they can be immediately entered into lien. So it's really the intangible benefits that maybe can't be measured in specific dollars and cents, not easily anyways, that stand out as the important features. I would tell other agencies that are considering making the jump from paper to electronic format, what are you waiting for?